Hello, my lovely butterfly. Welcome to Butterfly Dreams. My name is Stephanie, and today I want to take a dive into my junk journals, and I just want to show you a little bit of my creative process, just to give you some inspiration, some ideas, and what you can do, and really how junk journaling is such a great mindfulness practice. It has so many benefits: creativity, dopamine hit. This is what I consider to be like my more creative, free spirited, like no rhyme or reason type thing. I don't really write a lot in it. It's just more so um, like mixed media and stickers, just kind of like randomness, and I love it. I've been working in this journal for actually the date is here, I believe, 2020. So I repurposed this planner. I think it was a Kiki K planner. I'm not sure, maybe. It looks like it is. Yeah, I think it was a Kiki K planner, and that I got in like one of those conferences, and I ended up getting multiple, and I was like, well, what can I do? Like, I love to repurpose things. I Instead of buying, like, I love that idea. So I was like, you know what? I thought maybe I can just repurpose this and use it to my to for my junk journaling. And I just absolutely love that idea. And and I love that I just used something that I already had, and I'm repurposing to fit my creative projects. And as you can see, like, during the pandemic, I used this journal to take workshops online with my friend Shlomit, who's an expressive arts therapist. And so it was very, very like I took the time of the pandemic to be like a very healing. Instead of focusing on fear and worry, I decided to focus on my personal growth. I felt like if life was giving me this opportunity to stop and to pause and reflect, that I should take advantage of it. And that's exactly what I did. I want to say that I did a lot of self development and growth during that time. I know a lot of people who did that. Like, we, a lot of people resorted to spiritual practices, and that's really what got us through. So I can for sure 100% say without a shadow of a doubt that spiritual practices, mindfulness actually works to get out of, your head and to overcome stressful situations. It does help you build your resiliency muscle for sure. So that's just something I wanted to point out. And also junk journaling, I've been making a list about all the benefits of junk journaling, or journaling in general, whatever type of journaling you like, whether it's written, whether it's just pictures, paint, whatever it is, to get yourself on a piece of paper and sort of express what your mind can't fully express. It's very cathartic. It's very healing and liberating. And I just can attest to how wonderful it's been. The other day, I found my journal from when I was in second grade. And journaling has been a practice that I have continuously fallen back on throughout my life, especially growing up in a very dysfunctional home. I feel like the arts, specifically journaling, because we were also very poor, so it's not like my mom could afford to buy me all these supplies. I would just get like a basic composition notebook or a dollar store notebook, and then just write all my feelings down. And that would actually, I think that that was my saving grace during my childhood. And that's why I love art. I mean, art is so much more than just scribbles or, polka dots and colored pencils. It really is a very powerful practice. Um, and all arts, all expressive arts, whether it's dancing, singing, I feel like that's why many of us now, I mean, you're going to see it, there's going to be like a second renaissance, because after we've endured so much war, pandemic, hate, division, I think we're going to go back to a moment where we just want to play. And I'm seeing that over and over. You know, the way adults are collecting toys now. And I'm seeing more and more people dive into hobbies that don't involve social media or doom scrolling or whatnot. So I kind of love this phase we're going into. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it. So yeah, sometimes I just randomly skip pages, or I like to prep my pages in advance. So like this would be something like, if one day I feel inspired to write, I'll just go onto this page and I'll pour out my heart. Just however the inspiration comes, that's how I do it. And I love that these pages get glued together. Like, I just feel like it makes it so unique. It makes it also, it gets me out of my head, because I mean, we're already a lot in our heads, right? Like, we probably can be our biggest, our worst enemy, right? And so I feel that just doing something without really thinking about it, without aiming for perfection, whatever that means, it's very healing for my soul and very liberating, which is what I always aspire to see. Like, these pages are so stuck together, and every time it's like another chunk of paper gets ripped off, and I'm like, okay, whatever, I don't care, like it's fine. And I do tend to battle with perfectionism, so just having this, it's just so, it's such a very profound release for me, and it helps me in my everyday life. Like, so that's why art is so important, I feel, because whatever I pour into here, then I can translate into my everyday life, with my kids, with my job, with whatever's happening. So there is something to this, actually. And then I just have all these pages, and here you can see, like, it says 2019. So yeah. And I love that that's what I did. And then I think I recently added this what is this called? This patch. This is from Dollar Tree, and this I think I got at Hobby Lobby. This was a Cricut project that I did. It's supposed to be Frida Kahlo, and that's why I put the hair, but in an abstract way. So that's that one. Then this is the most recent one that I started, because I started painting recently, and so I just kind of try different techniques with mixed media. And so it's kind of like my practice run here. I'll place some ideas, and then just kind of go for it on the canvas. But I've been very much into hearts lately. I do feel that, there's this hermetic principle that says, as within, so without, as above, so below. And I feel like whatever I pour onto my pages is really what's existing inside my soul. So it's a very soulful practice too, And so I don't know, I find that when I look back to my journals, I find that I was actually gathering messages. It was like my soul was speaking to me. I also have looked back into my journals from my childhood, from my teen years, and I realized that a lot of the things I wrote there are things that either have happened or I intuitively knew, just so very young at a so very young and tender age. I just knew a lot. I'm quite proud to know like where I've come from and where I'm going. Like, I see, like, this to me, it speaks to my spiritual awakening and all of the spiritual uh, work that I've been doing over the past few years, and there's a message in there, and sometimes it's encrypted and you don't get it till very much years later. And like, I'm so excited. I feel like my paintings and my art is very precognitive. I don't know if you've heard of like precognitive dreams, or precognitive intuition, where like you know something before it happens. I feel like my art is like that, and it's something that I recently discovered through my paintings, and so yeah, so pay attention to your art and pay attention to what you're writing, and you'll see that it carries basically like cryptic messages, and if you really pay attention, like you'll understand what it means for your soul at that moment. That's why when you want to create, you shouldn't really repress whatever wants to come out. You should just release it without judgment and let it be, because usually it will have a message if you don't aim to control it per se, if you just let it be. So as you can see, for me at this time in my life, it's a lot of color, a lot of flowers, a lot of hearts. So I feel like it's referencing a lot. I'm in a blooming stage of my life. I'm in a very fun time, an awakening process. I'm in a very exciting and playful time in my life as well. My kids have grown up. I have 2 kids in college by now, and wow, I can't even fathom that. Like, it's weird this stage in life, because I almost didn't see it coming. It's like when it's here, you're just like, oh my God, my kids are not here with me. Like, what? It's just a weird concept for me, and sometimes I struggle with that, but there is where I fall back on my art, and I allow it to just carry me through those uncomfortable processes of life, So yeah, this is what I kind of been just doing here and just trying things. This is a mixed media journal that I got, and I do want to decorate this. Maybe I'll do it with you guys. Let me know if you would want to see that process. And then here's a junk journal that I love my junk journals too, like the ones that you make from scratch, from like actual junk. Those are very fun. And this is one that I made like after my last trip to Colombia. I went to a wellness retreat over there, and so it's a lot of nature and florals and that sort of stuff. And so I will have this. I usually attempt to make one after every trip that I take. It's been a practice that I've been doing, I think, over the last 3 years or so. Like here, my bad, a bunch of things that I collected on my recent trip to Houston. And so like these will be made into a junk journal. And look at how cute. I went to, of course, I feel like wherever I go, I have to visit their botanical garden. That I just love flowers and nature. I mean, obviously, right? But I love this. And I like that it says that. It's so on brand for me. And then I had Pringles on the plane. So then the little bag from the plane, I made this so I can use this. And then this one I liked. I ordered some pan dulce while I was in Houston, and so I felt like I needed to keep this. I just thought it was so cute. So yeah, so this is something that's going to be turned into a junk journal. And then let me show you this one. I also have this. These are like recent ones that I've been working on, and I have a die. I don't even know, like, I have so many craft items because once upon a time I was, consistently buying crafty things, and, consumerism took over. But now I'm just like, okay, relax. Like, you don't need all that. Like, that's something I want to make clear. Like, you don't need to buy a lot of things to have a creative practice. Like, just a couple of colored pencils, Crayola markers, like, and then, paper. You don't need to buy. There was a point where like I would have to go to Michael's every day. And now, honestly, with the way that Michael's doesn't even honor certain coupons or whatever, I don't even shop there anymore. Um, Honestly, I don't even shop a lot anymore in general. Like I've become more mindful of my, consumerist practices. So this is something that I want to tell you, that you don't need to spend a lot of money, and you can do it with pretty much whatever you have lying around. If you have an old book, if you have an old agenda, um, an old notebook, a Dollar Tree notebook, like you don't have to spend a lot. So this is basically made out of like all kinds of paper. I have a die that cuts it into this shape. That's what I was originally trying to express, that I have a die. I don't know the name of the die or anything, because I usually take them out and have them in this bin. So anyway, so I have this die, and so you just cut it. Like honestly, you could probably find a template for a notebook online and just trace it, like no big deal. And so I felt there was a point within the past few months where like I hadn't been journaling a lot, and so then all of a sudden I felt like I started getting withdrawals, like creativity withdrawals, and so I was like, I have to make something, and I started to do this. I saw some creators using like brown paper bags to make journals, and I was like, oh my god, yes, I've always thought that would be great to use to do mixed media. So I was inspired by that, and so I took all kinds of paper that I have in my stash. I like the idea of having different types of paper because it depends what kind of, media you want to use on there. And here, you can see my lovely Hello Kitty. And then just whatever. Like, this is vellum. This is a brown paper bag, obviously. This is vellum. I think this is mixed media paper. This is Tummel River paper. I have some of that. This is wrapping paper. These are just, I think, like those Project Life cards type thing. Who remembers Project Life? So, yeah, and so like I just, like no rhyme or reason, just kind of do whatever, and I love how it turned out. Honestly, I love that I can put this in my purse. It's so little, like you can see it fits in the palm of my hand. I could put this in my purse, like if you have a doctor's appointment, I don't know, if you're on your lunch break and you want to have a little crafty session, all you need is like a pen, maybe a couple of markers with you in your purse, and just dabble, I love that word, by the way, in case you haven't noticed. But yeah, this is a creation that my daughter did. I sold it on Etsy at some point, which I think I may open my shop eventually again. I was just trying to get settled into Florida, but I'm feeling a lot better now about everything. So, but look at this. Like, I just love the crinkliness of the paper. And of course, I have so many stickers from all the conferences that I've been to, and just in general, like what I used to buy a lot of stickers and craft supplies, and so now I have that. I have enough to play with, I think maybe for life. Yeah. So I love this with my affirmations and whatnot. So it's definitely such a great mental health practice. I can't stress that enough. Like, it really is. And so then I didn't have enough. Like I felt like I wanted to make another one. Like, I just want to make so many of these. Oh, and I don't know if I mentioned, but like this is a hair tie. I just use a hair tie to bind them together. I personally like having stacks of paper together and just being able to take them out, randomly to work on, and then putting them back in. I don't generally like to bind them, although I know some people like to sew them or whatever. Like, it's just personal preference, to be honest, but I like to be able to take it out, put it back in, or if I want to change the layout of the pages and make a whole new notebook, then you can do that as well. So I like that, like how customizable it can be. And then this one I used, I think it's that like that stretchy cord for making bracelets, just to see how it would work. And it actually works. Like, it works. So here you can see all of the things that I've been doing: painting, tried collage, just whatever appeals to me at the moment, and I just go with it. It's so much fun. I kind of love this one. It just happened to be like a sticker. I had painted on sticker paper, and then I started to rip little pieces off, and it turned out to me looking like Florida, so I had to do that. I love Florida, by the way. Well, I live in Miami, and I just love it here. This is where I belong. This is where I feel whole. I love having the sun out. I got tired of the snow up north. Sorry, but I just couldn't do it anymore. I think this is, oh yeah, this is one of those where like I like this like accordion style thing. Like, I love just popping random things out, or like finding surprises in little pockets. But do you see, like, this was from this paper right here is from a notebook that I had from Dollar Tree, and I just cut it with the die to fit into the journal. So like literally anything that you find, any paper. I try like all sorts of materials. Oh yeah, I didn't show you in the other one. Look how cute. But like here I tried this like plastic acetate material, and I like that. And then I also tried, I think there was like a little bit of bubble paper. Yeah, this is bubble paper bubble filler for packages, and I flattened the bubbles and put it in here. So yeah, just to give you an idea as well. And then now, last but not least, this is, I guess, more like my spiritual planner, even though all of these are pretty much spiritual. I mean, let's be real, but this is more like my spiritual planner, where I write a lot of like the insights that I get, or like if I take certain workshops, I'll write it down. So this is like when I initially got it. I believe I started this one also in 2020, and I'm not even done here. Like, I still have a bunch of little pages. So you see, like, I'm not like super. This is one of my favorite quotes by Frida Kahlo, by the way. I don't know if you can see it that well. Probably not, but yeah. This is what is this? This is wax paper, I believe, that I ran through the printer so that it would print like this sort of tie-dye effect on it. Also, I'm not condoning that you do that, because it did get stuck and it was like a whole thing. So yeah, don't do that. And if you do, it's at your own risk. But then I added these words from by cutting it out on my Cricut with vinyl. So I thought it was a cute idea. I don't know, maybe there's a way to do it better, but I just don't want to ruin my printer in the process. So yeah, so this is like, I remember doing this like right at the beginning of the pandemic, and I said, you know what, I am going to just focus on my spiritual practices, learn. There was so many people doing amazing workshops during that time that whatever I could get my hands on, I would get into it. Like, I was doing all the Zooms for like, spiritual growth and how to navigate these times. So this is like some workshops that I did online, and I just took like a bunch of notes. And yeah, I loved it. I loved how this turned out. And I think this is a piece of vellum with these words on. Yeah. So I just like to try different things, honestly. Like, I'm very adventurous, in general, but also with my planners and my journals. Like, it just allows me to really exercise my spontaneity. And I like it because each planner has different types of paper, and I love to see how different materials work on different types of papers. And I love to see the effects. And then here, like, I'll just do this. Sometimes I'll get the inspiration to just write something that will randomly pop into my head, and I feel like I need to put it on paper. So I do that too on this planner. And then I started I started reading a book called The Artist's Way. I don't remember I think her name is Julia. I don't remember her last name, but yeah, if you look it up, the Artist's Way. And so she recommends that we do consciousness streaming, I believe it's called, where every day you write 3 pages in your journal, like as soon as you wake up, without, right before you start scrolling or looking into your email or whatnot. You kind of just want to just plop everything down on paper. So I started that practice here, but then I ended up buying another one just solely for my consciousness streaming, which actually I haven't done within the past few days. And that's another thing I've learned to give myself grace, like, because otherwise in the past, like, my perfectionism would probably be like, well, what the heck, like, you're not doing what you're supposed to. But I'm just like, you know what, I'll get to it when I get to it. So I started doing my consciousness streaming, and that's not something that I'm going to share on here because it's very intimate and personal. But if you're interested, like, you could look into it yourself. Look at this. Yeah. So this is my baby, and I love it. I love it. I love it. I even have this little unicorn guy that I made like a tab out of. I also did this. Stickers galore. I created this one with my Cricut, and this one as well. And then these, I think, were from Target somewhere. I usually just get whatever appeals to me, and then I figure out how I will end up using it, and I do end up using my things. That's something I've been very conscious about, like, not only just buy, like, there was a moment where I was just buying things for the sake of buying things, and then I realized I needed to also use it. So that's something I've been very conscious over the past few years to be doing, to use my things, because that's the point, and it's so much fun, right? So yeah, anyways, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you got any inspiration, and remember, as usual, and fly free butterfly. Bye.